Welcome to Planet Collingwood here on Revolution Radio Studio A. My name is Monty Dean. A big thank you to Why Not and the crew for the Wi-Files. Unfortunately, I wasn't listening. I was stuck in a strange universe. But don't want to mention it because it's still going. So I'll mention that in an hour when people have stopped listening. Because, it's Planet Collingwood. It's a planet. How am I supposed to deal with a strange universe? Anyway, if you enjoy the last 2 hours, please go to freedomslips.com and or revolution.radio and click on the Patreon button and give what you can. We're 100% listener supported, so thank you for all those who actually donate to the station. We have 3 studios now. We have 3 studios being used. We have A, B, and K, or the Hawk's Nest, which is kicked off quite well, and we're overlapping, so I'll get to that in an hour. Once you're at the wonderful website, see what merchandising you would like to buy coming into summer in the Northern Hemisphere, so T-shirts, caps to keep the visor off. Use the visor to keep the sun out of your eyes because, the sun's going nuts and the radiation will burn your retinas. There you go. And then pop into the chat room where you can have 3 different – a lot of people talking about 3 different shows at once. So for the schizophrenics out there or the multiple personalities, it's great. Now, I have been joined by the usual crew and a special guest. We have Cortek, Raz, Bruce MacDonald and Brandon Young. Cortek, how is – the New South Wales?
It's actually not raining, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, paid the bill, eh?
Get out there and enjoy the sunshine because you never know what's going to happen.
Yes. And Raz, how is your part of the world?
It's good. Lovely morning today. Had a great workout. Got to meet some weird creatures on the way, but that's normal. It's Mauritius. So yeah, everything good.
It's a lovely island. So is Ireland, and I live on an island. So someone who lives on a very big island, that's the worst segment. That's it's a continent. Yeah, Africa, the country of the continent. No, I'm talking about Central America. It's central, not left, not right, but center. Is Bruce MacDonald. How are you, Bruce?
I'm good, Monty. Real good, thanks.
Excellent. And our special guest who has been here before, but I think he's special in a loving way. We have been joined by Brandon Young. Brandon, how are you?
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for the specialness. I feel
we're all special, but yeah, sometimes you've got to be told special. And you can hear in the background Bruce's dog giving critiques of the show as we go along.
Is that Bruce's dog or Peter Moon?
I think it's Bruce's dog. I don't think. Why would Peter Moon snuggle up to Bruce at night? That's just not right.
I don't know. I'll have to ask Bruce later.
Okay, I haven't heard the name Peter Moon for a while. So isn't it interesting? Like go back 10 years ago compared to now with the alternative truther movement. So now the latest news from Victoria is on midnight Friday evening. Most of the restrictions of COVID will be removed. They're keeping on the mandates to work because they're idiots, but no more masks, no more vaccine passports. I can actually go to a venue. There's nowhere to go. And so you can walk around maskless unless you want to, or you don't have to wear a mask at work now. But they still want to mandates because they want to drive up the vaccines because it's good for profit. Health. So, it's good news for... It's the 20th of April, so for all those cannabis users, hey,
Hey, it's 420 day.
Yeah, but Which asks the question, what's the 20th month of the year? But
Bruce MacDonald has told me many, many, many a time, 420, remember, Brendan, is Hitler's birthday. And I always remember that. Thank you, Bruce.
Is it?
I don't know. Is it?
Well, I don't know.
I think it is.
The 20th of the 4th?
Yeah, if we only had more information about Adolf Hitler, say like a cable network channel that could show documentaries 24/7. But
wait.
Yeah, let's not besmirch the good name of 420 by bringing Hitler into it.
No.
It's not Hitler's day.
Well, it's my friend Nick's birthday as well, and he's a PhD in psychology. He's a psychotherapist.
Well, I think to view humanity, your friend wins. Rather, not Adolf. No, right. Your friend. I'm going.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Brisbane. Yes.
Excellent.
That's his name too. There's a Brisbane, Australia, isn't there?
Yes,
I
there
think.
is. Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh well,
I think they named that country after him.
Well, strangely enough, when Cook
It's a
actually
city.
landed, when well, it's like
Strangely enough, it's a city.
yeah, it's a city, yeah, not a continent. When Lieutenant Cook, the captain of the Endeavour,
Neverland.
Captain Pedantic's come out early. Cortek. Oh, nice, he's whistling. Thank you, Nitpick
Peter
Boy.
Pan.
Because you mean Captain Cook? Yeah, but he got that way after he discovered Australia for the British.
Dennis
but
Hawking played him great.
He landed in Cooktown. Isn't that lucky?
I'm pretty much sure you're right. I reckon Brisbane was probably named after your friend.
Yeah, why not? I mean, all the time travel stuff nowadays,
Yes, and California was named after England, Cardiff, England. I mean, well, vice versa, rather.
Oh, well, I mean, Bruce and I could bore the crap out of you, Brandon, with the amount of English names that New Brunswick, New Hampshire, even New Zealand, that's actually a part of Holland or the Netherlands or whatever they call it now.
New Boston, New Maine, New this, New that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of thought went into it. Like, what are we going to call this? Well, I'm from York. Oh, we'll call this New Amsterdam then. Damn it, so close.
Yeah,
I think the new bit should have a time limit on it, though. 100 years or something?
Well, no, that would make it... I mean, New England, which is actually a collection of states, if it just went to England, would upset the English.
Yeah.
That's
West
for the
England.
best.
West England.
Don't get it wrong.
It's not new anymore, is all I'm saying.
No, I like to call China West Taiwan, but that's because I hate the CCP.
It belittles the word new.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to New Croydon. How old is it? 200 years. It's not that new, is it?
Older than your whole country.
Yeah. Keeping it real, yo. So, what's been happening in your parts of the world? Because I'm just chuffed that the vaccine economy has died a horrible death because it's election season down here. So they don't want.
Well, I don't want to sidetrack it, but real quick, Monty, I want to get your opinion on this. I've been quite thinking about this for some time now, me and Paul McCartney, I don't know. Well, that's terrible. I have a cold, but anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you kick Paul in the nuts when you heard him do his voice?
Did someone just
I've got an idea for a song. Oh, yes, now, la la la.
I wrote Lady Madonna. Anyway. So there's this place near me, and I saw this show on, they have these paranormal shows on Travel Channel. My friend John Rasmus, who's a great paranormal investigator, a really good one, actually, a cult researcher and so on, writing his own book. And I've done ghost investigations with him, like legitimate ones. They do these crappy ones of the Hockomock Swamp. And the Hockomock Swamp is right next to me, and it's apparently one of the most haunted places in the United States, if not the world. And it's very interesting, but whenever they televise or send a camera crew out to catalog this, it's always like the worst people that they put there. So I'm thinking, like, why not just hire me for a day, hire me or my friend John, and fly us out. Wouldn't cost him. He has his own equipment. No big deal. Go out there. We'll really capture something, I know because my parents, before this thing was a huge thing, my grandparents would talk about this place. It's Hockomock Swamp when the witches lived. And it's only, it's a very creepy area, for all kinds of sightings and things like that.
Interesting. So, yeah.
Is the swamp haunted? Oh, she's very haunted, or at least that's how the story goes.
She or it, or hers, or zer. I don't know what the pronoun she goes by now, but
in the 1600s, when Metacom and the Winnipeg Nation staged a rebellion against the descendants of the Mayflower, bloody battle ensued.
Exactly.
The bloodiest per capita in our nation's history.
That's right. Thank you.
We'd like to pause Cortek reading Wikipedia for just a moment.
No, those are facts.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, now, as I say to people, Wikipedia is a starting point. It's not an end point.
He was a Native American. He was a Native American Metacom. There's still Metacom Ave in Boston, a very famous old street. But he was also known as King Philip, is what the the colonists.
Colonists.
Colonists. Thank you. I don't know the British language yet.
Well, you are American.
I am American. I know the American language.
No. Sometime in the early 1800s, an American chap's gone, the English language is brilliant, so I'm going to change it and change everything with a Z to from an S to a Z and invent words like burglarized. The word's burgled, people.
Yeah, just ask Bilbo. He knows all about that.
Exactly, yeah.
We need to hire a burglar. Anyway, so, which is why I told him, because he didn't understand that word. Anyway, but this whole thing about Metacom and King Philip's War, there's a lot of desecration that took place and tragedy that took place.
Maybe there's some kind of natural vortex there to begin with as well.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, I think all the negative death, death is kind of negative. All the murder and the killing, that would add the energy to the area and just amplify it all. So yeah. It's like the undying land. No, not the undying. The marshes of the dead. Yes, thank you.
Marshes. Yeah,
yes.
Thank you. Yeah, no, exactly that.
Can you guess who watched Lord of the Rings recently? Me.
You gotta give us time to guess.
Yeah. Sorry.
Red rum.
Just a high octane frequency, babe. The only paranormal show I've actually seen is season 12, episode 8 of the Ghost Hunters. It's because they actually go out to Stardust Ranch. And I watched it after obviously reading the book, because I actually did the audiobook. Now,
you get to put
to do the audiobook
images with the words.
Yeah, to do the audiobook, you kind of have to read the book. Logically, that's how it works. Even I have read the book. I did finish the audiobook and sent it off to Bruce, and it went on the internet somehow. I'm watching this thing, and 10 minutes in, they've just listed all this stuff that happens at Stardust Ranch, and even I didn't believe it, even though I've recorded 7 hours of me reading the book. Yeah, that's how intense Stardust Ranch is. Well, there's this, and then there's this, and then because they've only got 22 minutes. And so they're explaining what they're looking for and what's happened and everything else like that. And it was just too much for my brain. Like in the book, you can take it's staggered, where it's like, revelation, revelation, revelation. But 12 minutes, bam! Oh, my head hurts.
Yeah, that guy killed some aliens with a samurai sword, as I recall. Yeah.
And people, where are the photos? It's like, you don't think the Greys can wipe technology? I mean, hello.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
they can clean a samurai sword very well.
Well, to be fair, he did FedEx a grey alien to a doctor, which, I mean, where else in the UFO community have you heard that statement?
Nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's a wacky world out there, even before 2012. It's just going insane now. Like, apparently, a 6-foot Easter bunny controls the president of the United States.
Does it?
Obviously, you didn't see the footage.
I did not.
Biden was up. Yeah. Sorry, Bruce?
He looked about 6'4" to me.
Well, so I was counting the ears.
So what happened? What happened?
Well, okay. Biden was asked a question, like, because they're doing the whole Easter thing with eggs and baskets and bunny. The bunny actually wore a mask. It was like, well, you don't have to wear the mask now to actually go on aircraft. Well done, you. Which was because the court said no, wrong. It wasn't the politicians going, all right then. So it's so American. It's like the government's got to be told by the legal people. No, dude, chillax. However, Biden's asked a question. I cannot remember what the question was because I'm just blown away. He was asked a question, and at that moment, the bunny comes over and just ushers him away, so he doesn't have to answer it.
He's a cute-looking standover man kind of thing. Keep moving. We don't want to get that on tape.
Yeah, like someone actually asked who is in the bunny suit, and I saw a photo on Twitter, and they photoshopped Obama's head, because he took the thing off, and like, well, it could be right. Could be Barry. He needs some work.
Probably some security, isn't it, with a submachine gun underneath or something?
Well, I mean, it's got a fat belly, and I mean, Barack has been saying that we have to deal with climate change, and then spending millions of dollars on a house on the coast. So yeah, nothing sus.
I'm having a look at it now. This bunny, it's your public buffer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, okay, Mr. President, over here. Oh, what? Huh? Corn pop? What's going on? Eh?
Generally guiding him where to go. Otherwise, he'd just walk over into the fence and keep walking.
Yeah, and apparently he has announced. I haven't seen him. This is like headline, so it could be true, it could be completely fake. Like the whole Alex Jones has applied for bankruptcy. Well, no, he hasn't. But Biden said he's going to run for a second term, and everyone's like, sure you are. Now, are we going to see election tinkering?
Yeah, does that translate to I'm going to steal the election again?
Yeah.
This is what we're failed to see with this election coming up here in Australia. Excuse me. Whether in the practice of things where people just generally take a leaf out of these other nations' book that do these things like invade countries and try and overthrow other countries and just generally try and get away with things because Superman's not here to kind of pull them into line. But are we going to see with this Australian election coming up? We'll see whether they just try and copy it, which they're kind of lapdogs to the US anyway. The people who are currently in there, whether it's just completely stolen from us the same way it was in the US.
Well, they do know that the major parties are losing a lot of support because everyone's sick and tired after the last 2 years with the pandemic / lockdown stupidity. A lot of them, you'll probably see minor parties actually getting traction because it's almost a mono party. The coalition, which is Nationals, which are farmers, the rural, and Liberals, stupidly named. Liberals are conservative and they work with big business. They suck. Well, their leader sucks. And Labor, who are siding with the Greens, which are watermelons, which are green on the outside, red on the inside. And the accusations since the campaign has started, well, apparently both parties work with China. And it's tit for tat, but it's a mono party, as Razorfist says. It's just the same thing. And instead of the US political landscape where they only allow two parties to dominate, I'm sure there are other people trying to get in there. We do have minor parties, and you'll probably see, especially in the Senate, where they can control the government, because if the government's got the lower house, got the majority, they just send it upstairs, and then you have all the crossbenchers going, no.
Yeah, all you can do is hope for a little few more no's in there to stop the stupid, crazy things going through. It just is one thing after another. Every single fortnight, there's some stupid adult or I see something somehow where the government is just giving away money to try and buy votes at the last minute.
Oh yeah. Now here's a feeling that I'll share, is that I think we're getting pretty close to the voters going, wait a minute, this is not working. Now, I'm sure everyone on the call and listening knows that, yeah, you can vote, but good luck with that. Like, really, like, your vote counts. It's counted, but who knows how. But my point is, like, okay, well, we'll go to the elections. Like David Icke points out, Party A is in charge. Well, they're terrible, so we'll vote for Party B. Well, they're terrible, so we'll have to vote in Party A again. Crap. And so I'm wondering, like, if the election rigging is so transparent now, where you're going to have a lot of disillusion with the general public, because like their last weapon, to coin a phrase from Razorfist, is voting. That was our last weapon, as apart from pitchforks and guillotines, is the voting thing. And so we may see this year how the elections go. And humanity's getting to, I can sense it's in the back of the mind, maybe. There's an energy of like, well, maybe we'll vote 5 or 6 more times and see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely felt that last time the election was stolen in the US, where we just stayed up all night just watching the thing, and they stopped counting. They didn't start counting early in the morning. There was just something weird going on. We could see it. What we usually see across the world after that is just copycat ideas of people in smaller countries thinking they'll do this exact same thing because, if the US got away with it, then why shouldn't they?
It's like a pyramid.
It's a trapezoid.
It's a trapezoid.
You never get to the top.
My thought has gone. Welcome to Planet Collingwood.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think. I think it's super political. I think the
What,
issues
elections?
that
Yes.
well, right. No, but
No, go on, sir. Go on.
the issues that we face are spiritual in their nature, and then from that, I mean, finally, governmental. If we can't understand ourselves at a spiritual level, there's no way we're gonna understand anything at a political level or get any sort of corruption cleared up.
Yeah, everything we're doing is compounded by the fact that everyone is trying to find the same advances in their own personal, soul and belief and stuff like that along the way, where you can push as hard as you can, but the outside is seemingly needs a lot of work.
Well, in the United States, you have this massive divide where, and there's to misquote Star Wars, there's heroes on both sides. Well, there's crazies on both sides, where if it's a horseshoe, the extremists meet because at the top where they bend in. But there is that massive divide where people are realizing it, and I'll use Bill Maher as an example, where at least he's calling out the far left now, and of course he's been called a right winger. Like, no, he hasn't changed. Everyone else, the goalposts have been moving around all the time, and there isn't a dialogue, or you can't have a conversation or a debate. And usually it's the far lefts where, I don't like the term left because there are nice people. Technically, I think all of us we would say we were left. In the 20th century, we would say we're left, but now we're sort of central because the goalposts have been moved. But you can't engage with someone who's got that ideology of like, I'm, not Bill Clinton.
You are Bill Clinton.
Donald Trump. Trump is a racist, and it's like, no. Well, he's not a likable person. Like, I wouldn't vote for him, but the only option was Hillary Clinton. But you know what I mean, where you can't actually have a sane conversation with people and agree to disagree.
Well, to even describe the situation, you shouldn't have to use old terms and definitions that don't make any sense anymore. Even being pulled into conversation like that, where old terminology is being used, is restricting the.
But on the flip side, at the same time, on the other side of the coin, they're changing words all the time to what they mean. I'm old enough to remember that gay meant happy. I mean, I watch the Flintstones. Now, I watch the Flintstones now, and I'm kind of worried. They'll have a gay all time. Like, I don't want to see this in a cartoon. Nothing wrong with that, but, it's a kids program.
It still means happy. Do you know that?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. We can fight the theft of ideas and words like that.
We have an ice cream here in Australia called Gay Time.
I love those.
And it's still for sale. And the homosexual community haven't picked it up as a token. It's quite nice. Too.
It's a good ice cream.
It's an early lunch for the marketing team.
Oh yeah. But they're changing. Like the term vaccines changed 3 times. Where
anyone remembers spotted dick?
That's a dessert, isn't it?
The dessert?
No. The beans, I think. The beans, was it? A canned spotted dick was beans, Britain. Yeah, I think so.
I think it's just some type of.
Let me look it up.
It's a UK dessert, I believe.
Yeah, the spotted part's sultanas, I think.
That's so gross.
Well, where did your mind go?
I'm not sure.
Don't answer that.
I'm not sure what the rest are, but I'm not sure what I'd put sultana. This is better.
Yeah.
Yes, like Collingwood, deep diving into the desserts and their wrong name, like Toad in the Hole. It's just like a chocolate frog chocolate frog in jelly/jello because we're global and I hate this stupid language.
That's the spirit.
Well, in Australia, can I have a what is it, jelly and peanut butter sandwich? Like, why would you put it? Oh, you meant jam?
I know, I've still not tried that, but I know people who have and say it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm still not much of a jam person.
Whatever floats your boat. Honestly, someone had discovered that like Reese buttercups. Someone thought peanut butter and chocolate go together, and they're right.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. I heard that some military complex companies try to claim a world record for the most time up in the air. I would like to propose that anything done for a military point of view. If if Lockheed Martin claims the world endurance record for being up in the air, they shouldn't be able to get into Guinness because they want to do it to be able to bomb more people or look down more people's pants. I'd like to just make the Guinness not for things like this, but the only purpose is to eventually kill people. Over.
Okay.
Planet Collingwood, where you can make a great point, and there's usually silence or I think it's Generation X, so that's basically what it is. Where the world's falling apart. Cool.
Yeah, I hope it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived through the '90s, man. I listened to Nirvana. Okay. So,
Did you also see those dudes who were trying to get into space by spinning really fast and then letting go through a tube?
Did you just describe my 5-year-old nephew holding a broom?
That's basically how people are getting into space these days. I'm not sure if they're looking for cheaper ways to do it because jet fuel is really expensive or what's going on.
Remember, what was it, last year or the year before? I'm sorry, I'm still amazed. We're like near the third week in 2022. My brain still is in 2020 because stupid calendar. But a person who wanted to prove the Earth was flat built his own rocket, and he didn't break free of gravity and killed himself.
He did or he didn't?
I mean, I think I don't think he landed well.
He forgot the parachute. Check this out. This is a thing called Spin Launch. And if you're playing at home, spinlaunch.com. This is basically getting a rocket, spinning it around as fast as it can go, and then getting a computer to let it go when it's facing upwards and just basically throwing it up in the air.
So it's basically the hammer throw, but with a hint of technology.
A vertical hammer throw.
Yeah.
And it's been claimed as being quite successul.
So what you're saying,
why we didn't do this in the first place.
Yeah, there's all these
someone with a big arm.
There's so basically in low orbit of the Earth now is Starlink satellites and all these dead people from Spin Launch.
Mm-hmm. All the little test things they sent up there. Oops.
Well, it will serve as a good how can I put this? Substitute to colonics and emptying your stomach because all the people in it will be vomiting and shitting from everywhere.
The G's on the spin around gotta be.
Remember the gravitron at carnivals and stuff like that, where they call it the vomitron because it goes that fast that you get stuck to the wall. But if you vomit, that's a good point. Free launched bile in the air.
I assume any living thing couldn't be put in it, or maybe just face the inside. It's a spew machine anyway. Which way?
Yeah, exactly. Now be careful of that word because that means a different word. That has a different meaning in the United States than it does in Australia. No, spew.
What does it mean? What?
When a man loves a woman.
Yeah.
And they give each other a special hug.
No, sorry.
Yeah, they give each other a special hug. When the man's finished, apparently that means spew.
Well, that's disgusting. That's taking a word that you should be about drinking beers and having a good time with your mates and sexualizing it. Are there enough words for spaffing?
Yeah,
obviously.
Apparently, there's more now.
That's some chunky. Like, who's going to spew out their penis?
I don't know. It's different. Like we in Australia, but in Australia, you have drinks with your mates and you get pissed, which means you get drunk and you're happy and you're hey. But in America, it means you get angry.
Pissed is angry in America.
Max.
Yeah, because I actually got this. I got this from a local stand-up comedy here in comic here in Melbourne. He was in America and said, "Man, I'm going to get so pissed I may spew," and the bartender said, "Get out."
Get out, you filthy devil.
You filthy boy.
Never mind.
Have you ever heard of Max Headroom?
Yes.
Yeah, so I thought you were doing Mad Max, piece from here and a piece from there.
I thought he was doing my Sharona for a second.
Anyway, Max Headroom, the guy who does it is brilliant. I can't remember his name, though.
Pigman is his name, and Pigman Carruthers. And he did a great Max Headroom. and he goes, Max Headroom. But I think it was a great back in the 80s. He came out. I want to say.
Yeah, there was a TV show called Max Headroom.
Yeah,
and he ended up on MTV. I may have got on the MTV first, and then did to like it's kind of weird sitcom where it was in the future. And I remember one episode where the TV it controls everything, and they break into an apartment, and it's like, look, it's got an off button, and an off button was illegal. So that's the only bit I remember.
Wow.
And the Pepsi ads.
Do you remember when there was
Back to the Future Part 2?
Yeah.
Do you remember when there was that cable hack and the dude got on TV? 1987, apparently, like with a Max Headroom mask.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he somehow was able to hack the whole cable channel or network or something
interesting
like
enough.
that.
Yeah, interesting enough. TV shows and movies have lied to us because I think in the history of television, be it cable, satellite, or free to air, I think it's the broadcast has been broken into 7 times in nearly 90 years.
Yeah, so his name is Max. I'm getting the word Matt Fuhrer.
Yes,
the actor's name.
Okay.
And maybe it was British MTV, but he was never on American MTV for some reason. But I believe he was on American MTV.
Yeah, that's where I remember it. So
yeah, No Off Button is a ripoff from the book movie 1984. In the movie 1984, it was illegal to turn off the TV. Same for Max Headroom. So
yeah,
it might have been inspired by that 1984 movie.
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I remember having a conversation.
Dystopia.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with someone like, yeah, it's like 1984, but then we agreed, well, no, it's 1983 because we're run by idiots. Like we haven't got to 1984 yet, but it's kind of.
No, but I want to say he was in Back to the Future Part 2.
I'm sure he
Cafe
was.
80s, and he's in there, and you go in there and you get a Pepsi Zero or whatever. No, it was a Pepsi Max.
No. Well, are you mixing? Well, I'm remembering now in the movie Spies Like Us with Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase.
I'm remembering
Chase.
the Simpsons episode
Mr.
with the little
Chase
kid called
Mr.
Pepsi.
Yeah. Now what they do is the generals go into because it's the spoiler. I mean, the movie came out in 1986. If you're worried about spoilers, it's your own fault. It's nearly 40 years ago, but it was the idea of they were testing the Star Wars, lasers in space and thing. And so they go to Arizona or Nevada, somewhere. It's desert. I can see a lot of sand. And they go to a drive-in, and the 2 guards at the front say, "Why didn't you have a Pepsi?" And the man who said that line is not Chuck Berry. Who's the
Max Headroom?
No, the blues guitarist, B.B. King.
B.B. King. Wow.
Yeah, B.B. King says that great line. Why don't you guys get a Pepsi? And so they walk into the cafeteria thing, where you buy all the snacks and stuff, and they get a Pepsi cup and push it to try and get the liquid. And all of a sudden, these, unlike Star Wars, there's handrails that come up, and the elevator drops by about a mile down.
I can't believe that you remember that.
Well, it's a good movie. I actually own it on Physical Media Matters. I actually have it on DVD. It is a great film.
It's a classic.
Yeah, especially now where it's all about the CIA and G20 agents and Russia's involved and so on. Yeah, and so if you watch it now, it's basically what's happening but with less technology. I don't know.
Can you imagine
Brandon, if there was only a search engine on the internet where you could type that in.
Yeah, jeez.
The Library of Atlantis is at the fingertips. Oh, well, I'll ask you.
Can somebody search that?
The psychopath who would invent something like a Max Headroom.
No, not really. I mean, it was the 80s, and also that's the level. That's the level. That's the level of CGI at that time, and so they would utilize it.
No, I know. I'm joking. The
He was trying to be a robot. He wasn't a robot. He was trying to look robotic.
Well, that's
at the time.
like
Everyone was doing that stuff.
the glitching. It's part of the broadcast. This, as they say in Firefly, the signal will not end.
Right.
Man.
Anyway, fascinating.
Yeah, that's half an hour of talking crap. I was listening to Sean David Morton earlier, and he just got onto whales, and then 7 minutes later, why are we talking about whales? But it was all fascinating stuff. So.
Is he back on?
Yes, he is.
When is that?
Right now.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. See, I was going to mention it at the start of next hour when he's finished, so I don't lose listeners. However, if you go, I'll just do it now. Both are archived, so if you can, well, some people listening to two and enjoy that schizophrenia, but both are archived at the station. I'm not sure if they're putting up on YouTube, but I have all my YouTube as well, so you can, if you miss one, you can listen to the other. Yeah, listen to one and catch up later. However, Sean, at the moment, he's doing 5 days a week at 1 a.m. This is Eastern time for the station, 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Tuesday mornings to Saturday mornings.
Well, that's
However,
awesome.
he's in the West Coast, so it's actually 10 till 12 the day early. See, time zones, yay. But yeah, it's his second show now, so I was listening to the first half.
Oh, that's awesome. I used to listen to him all the time. He's always full of an interesting tidbit.
Yeah,
at the moment I can't.
Well, no, because you're doing this.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
I'm glad he's back. I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm so happy. I heard the news.
I mean, we're going head to head right now.
No, he's resurrected like Christ.
Yes,
No, I'm joking.
Well, no, that's why he chose resurrect. Yeah, he wants to resurrect strange universe.
He is a sort of a Christ figure.
Yeah, he didn't have a really easy go of it. He had some kind of cyst or something he had to get removed. So I'm glad he's in good health.
That's not the start of it.
Well, and everything else,
Yeah, well, as everything else.
The cyst was probably a result of everything else.
Yeah. However, that's decreased, so he's doing well, and he's talking right now on the Hawk's Nest. At the moment, the only way I think you can listen to his show is go to freedomslips.com and click on the Hawk's Nest player. And you've also got Studio A and B. So if you really want to mess your mind up, turn all three of them on and try and figure out what we're talking about.
And then be like Elvis and try to shoot one of them out. This show ain't no good.
Actually, it'll be like this show when three people talk at once. Dramatic pause.
Dramatic pause number one.
Rude.
Dun dun dun.
So yeah, it's good that more comedy has been brought back to Revolution Radio. So I'm happy with that because I think that's not like the Spanish Inquisition. It's our chief weapon, but it does work because the pals that were, or the old pals, NWO or whatever you want to call them, they can't take a joke. They don't like comedy at all. They hate being made fun of.
I don't think they really get the jokes most of the time.
They
don't like to laugh.
No. Well, remember the church outlawed laughter for a while because they thought it was the devil's thing. I'm like, really?
You mean last year when they outlawed dancing as well?
Yeah. Well,
dancing and singing. No, dancing and singing.
When I was at the university, the dean actually put, the guy who ran it actually put forward, Jesus was probably one of the first stand-up comics. Because how you have to hold the 400 people as an audience, you got to put some jokes in there. You got a bit of laugh.
You do.
Yeah, I mean,
he wept, but he never cried. He never laughed.
Well, no, he was crying from laughter.
It's good that you knew that that university guy on first name basis, Dean.
Well, yeah. So one day I'll ascend to the top of the university, so I can be called Dean.
I think it's pretty amazing that.
Anyone remembers Mad TV doing Jesus and Terminator together?
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was funny. That was
Terminator.
Yeah.
Come with me. You want to live? Well, hold on.
Hasta la vista, hecho home.
Yeah, hasta la vista is like, don't worry, he'll be back.
Yeah.
Jesus was carrying a cross, like, don't worry, he'll be back.
And what I find interesting is, like, with Christianity, people make people make fun of Jesus. The thing is, I think Jesus would forgive them, not his followers, but Jesus, that was a good one. Why am I doing this actually?
Yeah. That was a good roast.
Yes, that he's apparently
Who knows
is he
what-
Khazarian?
Who
That,
knows what
there
accent to do? It's a you can do any kind of accent; it would still make sense. It's
yeah.
He was Paul
You see,
McCartney, you know. He was.
to carry on
he was
from your
like-
earlier statement, the moment you laugh at something, you suck all the fear and power from it.
Oh yeah.
So communism and religion can't have you do that. They need you to fear. They need you to kneel to the power.
Well,
so
yes.
the moment you make fun of them, it goes away. I remember when a few years ago, they painted Xi Jinping as Winnie the Pooh, and that triggered him hard.
Oh yeah. What are we doing today, Pooh? I'm killing all the way.
I heard from an exorcist, you guys.
what did they say? Ooh. Sorry.
No, they said, hello, Karis. No, they said, they said to me, they told me that what the devil hates is mockery of him.
Yeah, I mean, the devil, devil
anything
worshipping,
evil.
communism. Most of these things are funny.
Anything evil. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you gotta laugh. And like, if you notice people that don't have a sense of humor, they're sort of evil.
That's the first thing that happens when
They can't-
a dictator gets in. They bring me the intellectuals and the artists. Like
Yes.
it happened in Berlin. They started arresting cabaret acts because they were making fun of the government, and they can't have that
Right.
because they have to. I mean, is there a stand-up comedy scene in Beijing?
Or America.
Not,
Well,
not-
yeah, there is in America.
Not one.
No, I know.
Not one that's off the street somewhat.
It's
Where
kind
you have
of-
to know a
there's-
password to get in.
Why
There is a
why
lot
are
of
you in this
pressure in
camp?
America.
I did a chicken cross the road joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because he has to go to work for the collective.
Because he was hungry and he wanted to feed his family.
He did for the greater good. The greater good.
Get him when he goes out to the car park.
Just quickly, I just want to check on one of our guests. Bruce, are you still awake?
I am here, Monty. I'm waiting for a segue.
Did you know the creator of the Segway died on a Segway?
Really?
Yeah, he
I
couldn't
got
turn
one.
quickly enough and fell off a cliff. He was on a Segway and died.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
That's
I
not
just,
a segue. That's
no,
a complete topic change, though, because I
No,
know
no,
Bruce
that's a
has been
segue.
watching. Bruce has been watching Moon Knight. Have you? Right? You've been
So
watching
what,
that.
have you been watching it on your phone? I can't remember what type of phone you've got there, Bruce.
It's an
It's an
iPhone
iPhone 13 mini Cortek. I'm now looking at the Mac Minis with the M1 chip.
Yeah, you know how people with
I've been
addictions, they have to have
watching Moon Knight.
more. So yeah, now he's
People
this
on
M1
Apple,
chip, man. This
people on
M1
Apple are
totally.
like a
I'm a
cargo
huge-
cult. I don't get it. You get something else you can game on it. Do what the future people do. Where you don't just have to watch stuff where you're not involved. You can be the protagonist. You are the protagonist.
You are
Yeah.
Konsu.
Yeah, Cortek, you're talking to a writer. I think he knows what a protagonist is.
Just checking. He may not know if it in a video
Yeah.
game sense. May not have ever
Or
heard
the
of that
tenant
before.
sense.
If you're looking
But-
for a computer and you're not getting one that you can game on, might as well get a laptop and just do it on your phone.
Oh, I just remembered. Did anyone watch the Doctor Who special over the weekend?
Sea of the
that's good.
Devil, Legend of the Devil. So
The Legend of the Sea Devil. Well, no one else did. It only got 2.2 million people watching it live.
This
So
is-
Yeah.
Still the lady.
Is it
I
good?
saw all the crappy CGI and people scratching their head, wondering, what is this shamble? What exactly is
yeah.
this?
So there is good news. There's only one episode left of the current era, and then RTD's coming back. So
I'm telling you,
news.
the new Doctor Who is a depopulation list
Oh.
agenda. Everyone who likes it will be straight into the depopulation list. Those people
Yes.
can't be allowed to.
just like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they find the new Earth, and the only people populated are hairdressers and lawyers, like all the dregs of society. You do nothing.
Heaven.
Get on the ship. Get on the ship. Yeah. The planet's going to blow up. Yeah, get on the ship. Go.
Yeah. Hey, I heard the inventor of the Segway on Art Bell. You guys remember Art Bell? Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Great inventor of the radio and Coast to Coast, and then he had his own Midnight in the Desert show. But the inventor of the Segway, what Bruce said, didn't know he died. I didn't. Well, he knew he died because he had been dead, but he died in 2010.
Is this story going anywhere?
No, the guy that you know what a Segway is.
Yes.
You've seen those things. They're like little.
If you had a third wheel, it would have been all right. Yeah.
Hey, Monty, did you know that the inventor of the Segway drove himself off a cliff?
Did you know that someone's invented a machine called a Segway, and I'm still waiting for my hoverboard.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
Yeah.
So he was on Art Bell.
For those playing at home, learning how to do a podcast, what we're doing now is called roundabouting. We're stuck on Well, we're just circling the roundabout, saying, "Look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament, name that movie."
Yeah.
Since we were on the movie TV show topic, anyone watch The Batman?
I did see Moon Knight, and that was incredible because Khonsu is sort of like in the Egyptian Neteru, which is one of the 9 pantheon of gods, and he is possessed by 2 different spirits. And I'm a big fan of the comic book, of course, and he actually represents the occult.
I've not even heard about the guy before I saw it on TV, and it's a bit different. It's interesting. See how it goes. I've only seen 3.
Yeah.
A lot of people have dropped off by episode 3 because it's not holding an audience.
Yeah, I was about to say that because the wokeness is starting to wake up. Sure.
It's a big thing to define for people what thought is. How does anyone define thought? Do they define it as using a questions? If you read something, you can give it the voice of Morgan Freeman if you really try.
Right.
But, it is just at the start. Isn't a thought just an electrical impulse in the brain?
Yeah.
If we go on the physical side, but that if we're multidimensional, where does that thought come from? Do you create it in the brain, or is it in a different part of your multidimensional self, and that it's translated into the brain?
Yeah, we're asking questions, and we're doing that, trying to think through things.
Yeah, how about if
without vocalizing it?
Thoughts are electrical and emotions are magnetic. What about that?
Okay. Well, okay, but magnetic and electrical are based on physical, on what you can measure, and you can't measure invisible forces for the most part. I mean,
not yet.
Well, we can understand what gravity is. It's
we're ever supposed to measure.
I have a question for gravity. Does it push or does it pull?
Over to you, gravity.
Both, maybe. I don't know.
Apparently,
I never talked to it.
Apparently, it pushes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pushy bastard.
Well,
do this. Come on.
Well, you would think it pulls you into.
I don't know. Earth, we cross live now to the inventor of the Segway. What do you think of gravity as you fall off that cliff?
I said, I don't.
If that is not a genuine UK accent, I don't know what is.
Oh, you know.
I guess a bit.
No, once again, everyone you've met from the UK has been kicked in the nuts.
Yes, he's been 10 years old. He's been.
What day is it? What day is it, Timmy? Christmas Day.
Get off my lawn. Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Actually, that's when the aliens turn up and it's like, you're not alone. Awesome. Get off my planet. Come back in 12 months. We have to deal with this. We need an agenda, not yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Any chance of a segue, Bruce?
I'm looking for it.
All right. Okay.
Do you know the inventor of the Segway
actually? Stop that!
That had to be
Stop that.
Something else going on, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
it reminds me of that story. Now I don't know if it's true, but I like the story.
I like the off a cliff.
Someone got an iPad, just like how Breitbart got killed.
Swing to the right. He's off the cliff.
Turn. I don't want to turn left.
Why is it speeding up?
Yeah. Now the story from the Darwin Awards. I don't know if it's true or not. I like the story. So if it's not true, it's still a good story. A gentleman wanted to kill himself. So he swallows some pills, and he put no, all at the same time, swallowed some pills so he overdosed, put a noose around his neck, put a shotgun in his mouth, and jumped off a cliff and tried to actually end his life. Now, the thing is, the gun shot the rope. He fell down the cliff and hit the seawater and threw up the pills and died 2 weeks later from hypothermia. I don't know if it's real or not, but I like the story.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
The whole
Sounds like
thing
a
about
children's rhyme.
shooting the rope is.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive.
The misery of other children's ropes.
Yeah, missed his head completely. And
2 thunderbirds, 3 hens, 2 turtle doves, and he found himself in a rock. Whatever, you know.
Darwin Awards is fun. Yeah, the way, I mean, Final Destination. Don't watch that movie. If you do, don't go out driving at night when it's wet.
No, I love those films.
How many was there? It was about 5 of them. Some of those bits just stuck with me. There was one bit where this girl was doing she was on the single bar, and something weird happened, like something dropped from the ceiling that just made this tiny bit of difference, and then you watch it play out, and you the whole time you see the two elements, and it's very suspenseful.
Yeah. Well, the cool one was where I don't know if it was 5 or 6, where it was Devon Sawa, who was a sort of a Hollywood hunk back in the day, and Devon Sawa gets on this ride. It's kind of like a roller coaster, like a Tower of Terror or something like that, and he gets on there, and you can choose on the DVD what path he takes. So you can choose whether or not he gets off or he stays on the ride, and so on and so forth. And no matter what you choose, they all die. So
well, that's lovely.
Isn't it? It's a beautiful story.
Well, you choose your own adventure. If you really want to mess your mind,
choose your own death.
Yeah, choose your own adventure from back to back, and the story has no concept at all. Like, go to page 3. Yeah. No, I'm going to continue reading.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was one of those things. It was very interesting for back in the day, interactive sort of DVD. But
choose your own adventure.
But choose your own adventure. That was great. DVD.
Oh.
Yeah,
and some people have done that in YouTube as well, where they would have had to film out every single permutation.
Yeah.
It takes a bit longer video, but it's kind of cool. It's like a video game for Gumbies who can't keep off plugging in peripherals.
Batman and the Joker do something like that, and there's like 90 different scenarios if you play it out, because it's more than one choice or something like that, or it's you can press random, and
so many choices.
Yeah, as Robbie in the chat room, sounds like a lot like human life. Like, yeah, like, do I want to go out now, or I'm getting told not to catch this bus, I'm catching the next one. Free will.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's working out well so far.
Permutations, not just on good decisions, but bad decisions as well. And usually, as you said before, with the Darwin things, that's where all the comedy is.
Oh yeah. Much laughter at people. Schadenfreude are laughing at someone else's misery. I wouldn't really do that, because look at the President of the United States. It's not funny anymore. It's just sad. Very, very sad.
What about if you fell up another pair of stairs?
Fell up some stairs.
Yeah, again.
I've done that. You trip and you fall upstairs, and it doesn't sound right, but it is possible. You don't go that far.
I've done that with thongs. Sometimes they clip the stair like that as you're going up.
Since we are global, thongs, flip flops, jandals, and there's another name for them. Because thong in the United States is the G string.
Underwear.
Yeah,
underwear on my feet.
Yeah.
I like jandals because it's just
jandal. Yeah, very New Zealand.
Chili bin and jandals.
Yeah, love those Kiwis.
They're unique, fellas.
Yeah, good Anzacs. We're all Anzacs. We're coming up to the first half of Planet Collingwood, and I think the entire hour has just been small talk, and I love it. So I would like to apologise for anyone who had tuned into Revolution Radio to find out some information. We're a comedy show, so we're the light-hearted. We're trying to bring balance back to the force.
Oh, when you asked the no information this week, is there anything?
Yeah, there's heaps.
Yeah, what are they looking for? What kind
No, there's
Yeah.
nothing more.
So much.
What flavor you got? Yeah. What
What do you
flavor
want me to lie about aliens on Plantomata or whatever?
Aliens
you know
are
what I mean?
boring.
They come in and take out the deep state.
It's
you know.
boring.
I'm sorry, it just to
No,
me
it's
it's
funny.
boring. You know, to me it's boring.
The inner Earth people are crawling out as we speak.
Yeah, there's so much
And I've
going
been in
on
contact with
live
them.
as we speak now. I think we're just saving it for the next hour out of respect for SDM, because the
inner Earth people are crawling out.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, you just heard it from Brandon 3 minutes ago.
Right.
Where did
Inner
Brandon
Earth
hear it?
people are a completely different level. You're talking about the tunnel dwellers. Oh yeah, they've been crawling out in let me give you a channel, SK Haunted Vlog. He has a lot of videos on YouTube about ghouls and everything. They're all coming out. They're all coming out.
They're all coming out. The veil has been lifted, as
Yeah.
I've been told, and so these inner Earth people are coming out.
Well, we'll get back to that after the break. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, Studio A. This is Planet Collingwood. We're just having a laugh, and it's fun. We'll be right back. Stick around. And welcome back to part 2 of Planet Collingwood here on Revolution Radio, Studio A, freedomslips.com, and revolution.radio. If you enjoyed the last hour, if you're listening, a big shout out to all the Strange Universe audience, all 3 of you that have jumped across. It's good to be here. If you enjoyed the last hour, please go to the website and click on the Patreon button and donate what you can. A shekel here, a grotzit there. We don't accept babies. I mean, after the last time. And because we're 100% listener supported. So thank you for actually donating to the cause. The longest running crowd-funded project on the internet till someone tells me I'm wrong. When you're at the website, pop into the merchandising. We have mugs now. We haven't got a Planet Collingwood one yet because I'm lazy. There, I said it. And also to reiterate, to back up what Nighthawk said, our opinions are our own. And so when I say pineapple goes on pizza, that's just me.
That is
maybe
definitely just you.
Yeah. Weirdo. Once you're when you've spent too much money on merchandising, pop into the chat room and hang out with wonderful people. They're all, especially when there's three studios going. The conversation's really weird, but some are listening. So hello, chatters. It's good. Now, Bruce has dropped off because it's probably late at night, and we were just being silly. So I think he may have wanted to actually have a common sense conversation, but it's a comedy show.
That's not gonna happen here.
Yeah, like really common sense. Yeah, we're wacky. But I have been joined by Cortek, Raz, and Brandon Young. Gentlemen, I may have to go let my cat out because my goddess is telling me things. Oh no, wait, she's on the table. There she is. Oh, all hail Scotch.
We need to have some juxtaposition, some contrast control. If we do serious all the time, it doesn't make sense. If we do comedy all the time, it doesn't make sense. We have to, balance it a little bit.
Balance.
That's why sometimes I just like, I don't want politics. Screw it.
You want me to get serious? I'll talk. I want to be serious for a second.
Not really. No.
No. But not too serious.
Hold on. I just want to play. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
All right.
Have a moment of seriousness. We need balance. So one moment of seriousness. Yeah.
1 moment. And if you ever went ghost hunting, you would know that there are certain meters that you can buy. And,
I like the ones from Ghostbusters with the little LEDs and the arms that raise up.
Yeah,
like that, but nothing like it at the same time.
Not really.
I was always hoping that's a real thing.
Yeah, but there's a guy out there. His name is Paranology, and he sold me a spirit box not too long ago, but very long ago now, but for $300, and he never built it, never gave me the money, never responded to an email. And so, I mean, this guy also has admitted to me that he's gone around the country sort of going
ripping
to kennel, these not just ripping people off, but using the money to essentially buy cats and dogs.
Oh, that's not very savory.
Oh, it's not. And then what he does is use them. He basically murders them.
In time travel experiments.
And no, but for his whatever research.
Because I heard you can buy time travel equipment off eBay.
You can, and that's what I did. But it was Spirit Box. It was, you know what a Spirit Box is, you guys? It's like I can't explain. It's like a radio. No, it's like a radio, and it kind of skips between radio stations, and it picks up voices. EMPs.
Cool.
It'll be sort of like a receiver for frequency.
Did you put batteries in it?
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
else would no, you just wind the rubber band, Cortek. I mean, really?
Oh. Yeah, it's a rubber band. But like,
the crank on the side gives it away. Yeah.
Sometimes I really worry why things aren't working, and then I notice they're plugged in. You just always got to check that kind of stuff first.
I paid $300 for this, and this guy never sent it. He's out there spending this money. He has a hotel or motel.
Gallivanting around the country.
In Texas, he buys all these dogs. Apparently hangs them. I don't know if this is true or not, but he's into like sacrifice of dogs.
Hope he does it at a restaurant.
No, but he also builds these great spirit boxes. But I just wish he would, email me back with the money or the actual box or something like this.
Let's name and shame him publicly.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just selling. He just sells the one, and through time travel, he keeps selling the same one.
Oh, maybe. Well, I don't know, but he's killing not the same dog. And that is the power of the dog.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought that was the cat's power.
Well, actually, from the chat room, Robbie says 10% off the flux capacitors on eBay. Yeah, but you need a DeLorean.
Really? Yeah, but you can chuck those flux capacitors there and everything. I'm going to check it out.
I don't know. Well, no, the DeLorean, it's chassis. Remember the movie? The chassis is built for time travel, where it can actually do it. Because do you really want to make a time machine out of a Datsun 180B?
Yeah, sure. You got to get it up to 1.1 gigawatts, and you get it up to 80 kilometers an hour. But apart from that, I reckon
88 miles per hour. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so I don't know. This guy, watch out for him. His name is Mick, or whatever his name is, and he's not a good guy. This guy is a scammer.
Yeah, it's unfortunate these people gallivant around the country taking advantage of other people's hopes and dreams.
Well,
Right.
that's the interesting thing, say, the alternative community, where there are people, there's a kaleidoscope of people where it's like in the last 10 years, who's real and who's not. Dare I say, a lot of the QAnon brigade kind of suck, because they were, 10% correct, and the other 90% is like, I've been sniffing bath salts again. So
I found a rare limited flux capacitor, but it comes with the Blu-ray discs, and that doesn't make me feel that it's not so genuine.
Yeah, I don't think. No, the only way you can time travel is you watch the movie that was made in 1985.
Damn it!
No, it's a good movie.
It's okay.
Blasphemy.
How very dare you?
Yeah, and because the makers of that film are still alive, they're not allowing a reboot or a sequel because
they should be in jail with Blair and Bush.
No,
they should be in jail for war crimes. They should be. The Back to the Future people should be in jail for the most time paradoxes ever in one movie. None of it made sense. None of it was even thought through at all.
Did you watch the same movie that I did?
Maybe.
Because with time travel movies, the movie has to create its own rules about time travel. You can't mix and match different timelines.
I guess movies. they kind of set that out, didn't they?
Yeah, they set the rules and they played in their own sandbox. But the thing is, you will have to wait till Robert Zemeckis and the other producers die, and then woke Hollywood will remake it and just drive it into the ground.
Oh, remake.
Because that's right. They don't want a sequel or a reboot because their reasoning is the movie's good enough. Just watch the movie. You don't. You
could have said that for the first Spider-Man too, but we've done that 48 times now.
Well, which first Spider-Man movie?
The first one. The first
one. And from the 70s?
The first one that was made into a movie. Yeah, sure.
In the 70s, The Flash was made, Spider-Man, Hulk was a TV show in the 70s. So when you say that, well, yeah, it was Lou Ferrigno greening up. and it was pretty good
Very
for 90s. Yeah, for the technology of the 1970s to have a Bruce Banner stub a toe and then take out half of Wisconsin.
He's a big
Rip his
dude.
jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually has a cameo in the Hulk movie.
Does he?
He's in one of he's a security guard in one of them.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, working with Stan Lee, who's the other security guard.
And Liv Tyler.
Yeah, so yes, Revolution Radio gives you the information that can save your life. Planet Collingwood makes you help win a pub quiz.
He was also, Lou Ferrigno was also in something really, really, really weird. It was after the Hulk series. It was kind of experimental. It was in the late 70s or early 80s. But it was super weird. So I can't find it, so it's a great story. That's Lou Ferrigno.
There's like this guy and he did something and I kind of remember it. Thanks for that.
Sinbad of the Seven Seas? It was something like that.
Yeah. See, now Sinbad is part of a Mandela effect because he what was the name of the movie? He made a movie Shazam.
Shaq.
I think. Shaq made Kazam.
Fu. No,
because
I made Shaq Fu.
No, you've been
You see how this is getting a little confusing.
You're watching your video nasties again. No, because I remember at the roundabout. Because movie studios kind of do that. They make two movies, like an A movie and a B movie, because when Oliver Stone made Any Given Sunday, at the same time, Gene Hackman and Keanu Reeves made The Replacements at the same time. One was serious, Oliver Stone, and the other one was a lighthearted comedy. And the production, basically, it was the same football teams in both. Because it's like, hang on, that's the coach from that movie. Yeah, it was the same thing. Now, also at the same time, when the movie studio finds out, what are Warner Brothers making? A Genie movie. And then Miramax goes, we'll make one too. And so Shaq was actually a Genie. I think that's Kazam. And Sinbad made a movie called Shazam. I remember it because it's like they released two movies at the same time. Now, in this timeline, in the moment of meow, the thing is, Sinbad says he never made that movie, and no one can find a copy of that movie. People just remember it.
He did it. Anyway, the movie that I was thinking about was The Adventures of Hercules with Lou Ferrigno. It's super trippy. Some weird stuff happens. He goes underwater.
Thank you, Cortek, for how do you prove the Mandela effect exists? Because Cortek said he did it.
Yeah. Lou Ferrigno was Shazam. No, that never happened.
No. That's another timeline. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger's first major movie was Hercules in New York. And they got they dubbed the voice, so that's not Arnold's voice. They got someone else to do it.
Oh, that would be funny.
Is it the scene where he says, I'm tired of the same old things? We have the video on YouTube, I think, where they were contrasting the English dub and Arnold's Austrian accent.
I haven't seen that, but most likely. Yeah, it was made in obviously it's in New York. Hercules goes to New York. I think it's like 82. It was his first movie. And then,
Arnold or Schwarzenegger or both?
Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger is one person.
I'm thinking of Stallone.
Now, yeah, exactly. Now, what I'm finding interesting, because I've said Schwarzenegger, I'm wondering if YouTube will take down my video, because the the algorithms probably said probably thinks I said another word, and that word is ginger.
He went from sin bad to sin worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice.
Well, that's the thing. Like, people may ask you, why are you joking around when the world's going to hell in a handbasket? It's like, because we've been talking about it for 10 years, and it's kind of boring. Oh, Russia invades Ukraine. Okay, what's next?
Well,
can we talk about that for a second?
Nice.
We're slowly sliding into the serious stuff here. That's how that works here in Planet Collingwood. We run out of humor and just start talking about information. I thought the weirdest sentence I ever heard was that the UK government is going to pay Ukrainian refugees that make it to England money to go and be transported to Rwanda.
even though the majority of them don't seem to be from the Ukraine.
Well, the thing is, I think Rwanda's probably closer than England to the Ukraine, but it's like, why is the English paying for this? And then it got to like, no, wait, this is what we're seeing. The stupidity of reality is just spinning out of control. Another sentence that I never thought I would say is that the ambassador for the US at the UN is blaming the conflict of Yemen on Russia, and then went on to actually
towing the line
to praise Saudi Arabia for all the humanitarian work it's doing in Yemen.
That guy is pushing for managerial post.
Yeah, but I mean, well, get the pronouns right.
Same thing.
How can you, like, you know, Yemen, the famine, destruction, genocide of Yemen's been going on for 8 years. Oh no, it's the Russians' fault, and they said it with a straight face.
Yeah. Well, you always need a big devil, don't you? You know, in this case, the big devil is this guy Jeremy from Paranology, and he, unfortunately,
it's just a dog with a bone.
I will get my free trip to this place.
No, but his uncle was a guy. I don't know if you guys remember this guy, Jimmy Savile from England.
Oh, that guy.
And he was one of these telephone presenters. And he had a show, Jimmy Will Do It. And
Jimmy Will Fix It. It was a kids
program. Thank you.
And it turned out he was a pedophile and a necrophiliac.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, really? So anyway, that was his uncle.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't heard about Jimmy? Oh, no, you're joking.
I thought he was joking. But, yeah, there's a special on Netflix. It's so mainstream these days.
Is it called Jeremy the Paranology Uncle? Who's a pedophile in England?
While you figure this out, I have to let my cat out. Her Highness has actually called for me.
Thank you, Isis and Hathor. We appreciate you.
Sekhmet.
And so Cortek and me, and so we will save this. Is that this guy from? I don't know if have you ever had a spirit box?
No, I heard that it's not the easiest thing to purchase legitimately and have something returned to you that actually does anything.
Right. So this guy never returned anything to me. I paid $300 2 years ago.
Unbelievable. One would ask, who is more at fault? You for giving $300,
apparently,
or them for not sending it to
Cortek, Russia. Where have you been?
For Russia, obviously, yeah.
So I'm just about finished this great book. It's great. What I can see is just train loads of arms still going from the US into Ukraine. Just so many arms that aren't going to be taken away after this, that are just going in there and will be in that region to cause problems for the next couple of decades or more.
Someone actually asked on Twitter, why is Zelensky asking for weapons and money and not, say, like food, water, and medical supplies?
Is it not just the most horrible term you've ever heard? Just the lethal aid. Can I read this, though? This is incredible. So I'm just reading this guy, and he's a guy who kind of brought in the idea of the veggie burger into the US, and then kind of went on to chaos theory and stuff like that. But he's got some really good insights about the system we're faced with and what we need to do around it, and what bits are kind of the worst and what are absolutely useless. But I love this bit because it really kind of spelt it out, so I'll just read it. The fundamental difference between the arms industry and the majority of other commercial enterprises is that the value of military product is negative. This is an important concept. Large sums of society's money are spent manufacturing weapon products that we hope never to use. Assuming the weapons are not put to use, then considerable further sums are wasted looking after them, updating them, destroying old stocks, and maintaining a force of people willing to use them if ever ordered to do so. And even though one country might seem to profit from selling these items to another, our global society as a whole is dragged down by the weight of their uselessness and literally torn apart if they are put to use. For from when these products are used, an even greater cost becomes apparent. When weapon products are deployed, they tend dramatically to decrease the value of other products that we already possess, including our lives. I thought that kind of sums up
yeah,
how ridiculous the money we put in on a country by country basis.
You're a peace-loving beatnik, of course, because if you're an arms dealer, there's a lot of money to be had. And have you seen the movie Lord of War with Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage, yes.
Yeah. Someone, I think his brother, Jared Leto.
That's basically kind of a parody about the CIA. No.
Let me finish means you stop talking, not continue talking over. Yeah. Jared Leto, who plays the character of his younger brother, actually asked him, "Is like, don't you feel bad about you kill people?" And it's like, no, I don't care what they do with it as long as they fire the gun. They don't care who he shoots. Yeah, I hope they miss so they buy more.
How on an international scale is it acceptable to just push this much arms into this region?
I
guess on an international scale.
I would ask Natalie Albright. What's her name? Madeleine Albright, but she died.
She did.
However, to answer your question, look at the last 20 years of Afghanistan and Iraq, and even go back 40 years before that, Vietnam. The arms deal, the military industrial complex wants another Vietnam. They just want to churn in meat grinders so they keep having profits and moving forward. Now, from a moral standpoint, none is the answer. However.
And if you hold veto rights on these organizations, then they're useless.
And as well as the United States government, after coming out of World War II, most of their economy was built on military and building arms. Yeah. And so they thought to keep the economy strong that they sort of have to be on a war footing. And so that's how the Cold War started, is so they could keep making money and building up all this military stuff. And, let's bring in the Afghanistan, where Biden left over $1 billion worth of equipment.
Yeah, now, that wasn't that long ago, was it?
No. Yeah, last year. Stupid time travel calendar. But the point is that what they've done is they've armed an enemy, and now they have to replace all that equipment, and so they have to buy new stuff.
It's a vicious circle.
Well, yeah.
Raytheon's been making a lot of money from this. As for the military industrial complex, the Yemen thing, Saudis bought the weapons from the crown. Now Saudis are being praised for humanitarian aid. They did the conflict in Yemen. They created 13 million people as in dire humanitarian aid. Yeah. It's actually the largest on earth right now. Yeah. And 13 million people. Middle Eastern, oh my God, it's doing havoc to the womb chakra. I don't want to go through this.
Well, yeah, that's basically it. It's everything has been not expanded. What's the word? Elevated, magnified. Everything's been magnified, and so that's why we should start a game here on Planet Collingwood of trying to find the most ludicrous statement or article that we see during the week, because it's just going to get more insane and more crazy. Like, we don't even have words in the English language, because you know how Inuits have 32 words for snow. We kind of need that for the word insane.
It's kind of like the feeling, I guess, if you're about to be eaten in one of those Dionysian rituals. It's kind of like eating the future generations.
Well, there's that. Yeah, I mean, you could.
But there's not a word for that.
You can link it to depopulation, because we're going. Yeah, everyone keeps rutting and having kids. Like, I don't think the controllers back in the 60s is like, oh, we won't get past 4 billion, and we're coming up to 8 billion. So that's what I find amusing. Like, they want to kill us all. Yeah, well, they suck at it. Because we need 500 million people to run a perfect world. We're coming up to 8, maybe 9. And the weird thing is, if they wait, once the baby boomer generation die off, just natural causes, that's what happens. I'm not saying go out and kill grandma, you sick individual. You'll have that depopulation naturally, because kids, especially in the West, people aren't having children anymore because of medical advances. So 100 years ago, families would have 8 or 9 kids and hope that 2 survived. Now kids won't even have one, or the parents won't even have 1 or 2. And so watch the movie Idiocracy. It explains it perfectly in the prelude
first
of that.
30 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. because all the dumb people keep having sex, but the smart ones are my career and everything else like that. Oh, and while we have a pause here, I'd like to point out in the chat room they're talking cars. Remember
What kind of car?
Kind of cars.
Well, there's an Australian in there, so there's Holden, Tiranas, the Fairlanes, the Datsun. They're just talking about old cars. Like old cars that you would buy when you're 18 and then get buried in it 60 years later. Not like the cars now where you sneeze and half the car crumples.
Yeah.
Any old Holden.
Oh, well, even Holden doesn't exist anymore. It was bought out by General Motors. So
but the cars still do. You see those old dudes who just had it like 50 years and it's just got all those little, like the Venetians in the back. If it's just keep it garaged and polished every day.
Because they're built like tanks, and if you have the right exhaust on it, it won't make any noise at all. All you hear is the 4 rubber wheels on the tar, on the bitumen. And you can change your muffler so it's like, but like, no, I want a small muffler so it goes. But then you get like the Tesla, Tesla, which is like the worst version of a spaceship because you can't leave the ground. I'm sure if you could apply some wings to it. But how many computers are in the Tesla? They got self-controlling. Did I see a story this week that police pulled over a self-driving car and it was empty?
Yeah, and they arrested it.
Yeah, pull over. Yeah, get out of the car, driver.
Serving life in prison. Yeah.
Taking your mind chip out. You're just a
Next
husk
to the
now by the side of the road.
guy.
It's very hard to drag a car wearing clamps into a courtroom.
Except when you're the Paranologies guy, and in that case, he goes into the courtroom and he's guilty of murder for dogs.
Well, let's talk. Speaking of pets, let's talk Shanghai. False flag, is it fake? Because the stuff I'm seeing, like, that kind of looks real, but the sickening part. Let's get the sickening part out of the way. Which, an hour and a half in on a comedy show, we can, we've done comedy. We'll still do comedy.
We can carouse sickening now.
Yeah, apparently, because they're all wearing white jumpsuit type of hazmat suits type thing.
Yeah.
And someone actually put a photo of stormtroopers from Star Wars right next to it, and they kind of look the same. However, they're collecting pets. They're ripping dogs and cats out of owners' hands, out of their arms, putting them in bags and leaving them on the sidewalk slash footpath to be collected.
Terrible.
Yeah, and it's like, why? It's
that makes me want to go to war.
Yeah,
and actually go over there and fight.
Yeah, well, have you seen John Wick? Have you seen John Wick?
No.
This is how you get John Wick.
His dog got killed.
Exactly.
They're scraping the barrel, trying to rile people up, aren't they?
Well, the mastermind behind this is Jeremy from Paranologies. And
no, I'll have to stop you there. On that one. Enough. On that point, no.
This is what I heard.
I'm sure.
I don't know.
He's responsible for a lot of things, but
Jimmy Savile, the Queen, and
world
peace.
No, but I think he would support it from what you said. He keeps collecting dogs and killing them. Yeah, I think he would support. But I don't think
he's more business, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He's not the sub leader of the Communist Party in China saying we have to lock up everyone and take their dogs.
Or is he? We don't know. I mean, we really don't know who this guy is. We just know he makes these scams, and if one scam goes
I think
to
you
another.
need to see a counselor about this. Get some therapy. You need to let it go.
I have.
Oh, okay. Yeah, clearly it worked. You've brought it up 8 times in 45 minutes. And another thing, I bought this. Yeah. So you're doing it again.
I'm joking.
You're roundabouting. That's what that is. So. I wonder how many people are still listening.
About Shanghai, you guys remember the video where they're filming buildings and lots of people are screaming? Is that true?
It looks like I've seen photos of someone put a fridge on their balcony and the door's open. It's completely open. Even apparently this made it the mainstream. See, this is the thing. It's like, is it a false flag? Is it real or is it fake? But apparently even billionaires in Shanghai can't get milk and bread. And I'm like, that's bad if true. Now the thing is, I watched Stephen Crowder last week, and they actually had they've got their mug club, where subscription service, you give them money and you get the show for a year, and they call it the mug club because it's instead of just say paying $90 to Rev Radio, you pay $90 to Rev Radio and get a mug, and that's why it's called Mug Club.
Sick.
Yeah, a nice
That
shiny
is the
mug.
future. Mugs.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And
Well,
plates.
yeah. Everyone's got a drink, yo. Now, my point is, they actually have a mug club member in Shanghai, an Australian, heavy accent. However, he was expressing his experience being there, and it is dark and intense. And he's decided to, because he's got a wife and 2 kids, he's trying to leave. Once he's allowed to leave, he'll get out of there because it's China. It sucks.
What was he there for? Business?
Yeah, probably work. Obviously, the wife may be Chinese, so you're allowed to vote outside your clan now, or even marry. Vote? What am I talking about?
I don't think the government there would really be doing anything to try and rile the people up by killing their pets. I mean, it seems like it happened or whatever, but I don't think they would do it if they didn't think.
Oh well, no. See, the Chinese, one of their flaws is they have to save face, and they will do dark and mysterious and just crazy stuff to save face, because instead of actually going, oh, we were wrong, they're so hardcore that they have to save face, and so they could burn down half their country to save face.
Are they trying to start a revolution?
Oh, who knows? Are they depopulation, start a revolution? These are the people that say the Dalai Lama is a terrorist. That's right. A man that preaches compassion and love is a terrorist.
Might want to get your terrorism definition checked.
Yeah.
That's what
the whole dictionary. Check the whole dictionary.
Yeah. Maybe look up the word terrorist in your dictionary. Maybe not a government issued one.
But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good segue. Why? Because the word terrorism, and this is something I studied with American lecturers, the word terrorism is one of the most badly mangled in terms of definition in the US right now, because right now the new terrorists are involuntary celibates. White men who can't get girlfriends are the new terrorists. Domestic terrorists too.
Oh yeah, the incels. Yeah. I'd like to point out I'm a voluntary celibate. I'm not going out there. Everyone's nuts.
Yeah.
But I mean, when parents at school meetings were questioning the curriculum for preschoolers or elementary school, where they're teaching them sex acts, and then they get thrown out of the meeting because they're being graphic. It's like, this is in the curriculum. The government actually labelled the parents that were questioning the school board as domestic terrorists. They just bandy it around so much. And also now, technically in Star Wars, the Rebel Alliance, they're all terrorists according to the Empire. And George Cullen has said, a firefighter fights fires. I can't remember the other one, but what's a freedom fighter? Are you fighting freedom? Yeah, one terrorist is a freedom fighter. It depends where you come. Before the Irish had a revolution, they called everyone that would fight against the British Crown as evil domestic terrorists, and they should be quashed. Then the revolution was successful, and now it's like, oh, our Irish brothers, and that's only a century ago.
What if we spin our terminology around and call ourselves terror fighters? And they'll outlaw that use that in a couple of films and outlaw that term. Or will they spin it back around 180 degrees accidentally? Yeah, that can happen. That's cartoonish.
They call themselves Jeremy from Terranologies.
No, see, the joke's there's no energy in that joke anymore. See, it's falling flat. You've ran that into the ground.
Imagine Twitter, and you see a video, like those body cams, and a bunch of cops waltz into someone's room, and they're like, "What's all this? Ammunitions? Guns? Wait a second. Do you have a girlfriend? I don't have a girlfriend. Come with us.
Oh yeah.
They just ignore all.
Now it's not the U.S. government, but the corrupt controlling element on the planet. They to get their way, they need to create an enemy. Russia, anyone? Up until before they invaded the Ukraine, which we could spend 45 minutes going through of what actually caused them to go in. But we'll pause there. But they need an enemy. Like, once the Cold War stopped, it moved to terrorism. For their military machine to keep selling arms, they need an enemy to continue having this fear and control. 9/11 was perfect for them, as you can see, for the last 20 years. Try and catch a bus or a plane in the United States without being sexually assaulted.
Not in a good way.
No. Well, assaulted, not sexually. Anyway.
That's good.
Now, see, basically what we need, the incels need to travel more. Maybe that will relieve some pressure. I'm not angry at women anymore. Why? I went through the TSA checkpoint. I'm fine.
Yeah, Greyhound's a great bus.
Yeah, Johnny Farnham had it right. Take the pressure down, everybody.
Yep, release the pressure.
You know who had it right was Johnny Five, still alive.
I love that movie.
That is your best accent ever.
Yeah, mainly because once again it comes back to humor. Steve Guttenberg, trying to get away from the Police Academy movies, his character is trying to figure out how to prove that Johnny Five is a sentient being because he gets electrocuted. 1.1 gigawatts, let's say. And Steve says a joke to him, and Johnny Five laughs way too long at it. But he uses it has a sense of humor, and that proves that it's a sentient being.
Yeah.
The class.
Remember he hangs out with the gang, the Nosotros. Nosotros, kick your ass into outer space. And Johnny Five, he comes back alive. And he's gold. He's all in gold.
Well, it was so popular they made a second one, and I can't remember either. I just remember that bit where it's you got a sense of humor, and so that proves it's a sentient being.
I think they did the classic one with the second one where they couldn't afford to hire the same actors when they came back and went, your movie that you starred in was so successful, we'd like you to come back and do a second one. They go,
with a pay cut.
Can I get a pay rise? They go, no, you get a pay cut. And they go,
yeah.
This is kind of like Bewitched with Dick York and Dick Sargent, where you thought nobody would notice when you changed the main characters. But actually, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, and people argue over which is the better Dick in that film, in that TV show.
I don't know. They're both pretty good.
I like both. Yeah, well, they're different. They're different
I'm
enough for their own characters.
I like.
I'm a Doctor Who fan. I'm used to having characters change actors.
Would you recommend Doctor Who? I know you would, but if you weren't a super big fan,
wait a year and then watch it, or start from the very beginning and remember it was made in 1963, and there's 38 seasons. So you can get lost in the classic. The first run, it went for 26 seasons.
That's a Kennedy's death.
Yeah, the first episode was shown the day after Kennedy was shot, and they repeated it a week later because everyone was in mourning and grief, so he didn't get a chance.
Missed it. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, which makes sense. And so it was repeated the next week, and huge numbers. They're getting up to 12 million in 1964.
Wow. They did a great job on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, that's what I mean by you have to remember when it was made, because if you look at it now at the standard, well, this is utter crap. I mean, that's all cardboard. However, if I give you £400, you go make an episode and see how you go. And if you remember it, and you the technology at the time it was made, there was a reason in the 70s it got so huge with Tom Baker. He was in the role for 7 years, and I think he got the highest ratings for an episode of 14 million people watching it. Now, at the time, the other channel was on strike and not on air, but it was popular. And then after David Tennant, it really picked up globally, especially in the States. And Matt Smith, that was in what they call New Who. This Matt Smith era was when it was the biggest, where they were getting, I mean, even now with how crap it is, they're still getting 90 million people watching it around the globe.
Wow.
Well, it may have dropped off because of the quality dropped off, but we've got one episode left with the showrunner and the main lead actress, and then Russell T Davies, who started New Who in 2005, is coming back. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, there's one special in September or November. when there's a regeneration. So I'll be giddy as a schoolgirl in a couple of weeks because they're going to announce the new Doctor, because that's how they do things. And then next year in November is the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, so there'll be a special. And then after that, season 14 will begin, and Russell T Davies, who brought it back, is come back, and everyone's like, oh, let's see, the hope has been brought back. It's like George Lucas coming back to Star Wars.
Well, he wrote some of the most classic episodes.
Yeah, well, you can still watch them now. That's the thing. And even people that get sucked into the New Who, which is 13. They just finished season 13. A lot of people are going back to the classic era from the 60s to the 80s and getting absorbed into that. And it's it's a commitment, but it's gorgeous.
Can I ask you guys if you felt any change as of yesterday? Because there's a massive alignment going on, and I kind of got up and just got all these jobs I was putting off for ages done, and felt very
there's an element,
energized.
And there's an element of that. Like the weekend, you had well, it was Easter, Passover, Ramadan is still happening, a full moon, which is why it's all happening at the same time. The sun's going nut like a frog in a sock, sending out all these solar flares, as well as that alignment. Energetically, it doesn't rule your life, but it's like you're the avatar in the holodeck, and the holodeck has changed its creation in basic terms.
That alignment definitely seems to make a channel of sorts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got up just before, or I somehow woke up just before sunrise this morning and just looked to the east, and it was doing its thing. You know, it's going to be doing it for the next 3 or 4 days. And then ending up with the moon aligning with it on the 23rd, I think.
Yeah, and you've got all that happening, as well as whatever is happening personally in your life. If you do inner work, or you're meditating, or you go to couples therapy and you make headway of like, well, no, I don't think my wife is a hag. She is a very sexy woman. There's an evolution going on in that respect. And dare I say, part of the idea of this show now to do comedy is to have that energy of like, things are a bit nutty, but if you don't pay attention to it too much, you can still have an awesome life. You still be aware of what's going on. You don't ignore it, but you don't invest in the global narrative. I felt say it that way.
Yeah. I felt like, you know, we've had a nice break with all this kind of stuff, and hopefully we've been able to evaluate what we're doing and what makes us happy. But now it's really time to get on with things, you know. This is ridiculous that, you know, we're not at 100% running right now.
Let's see what's been achieved in the last 2 years. Every institution sucks, and the government has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, more like dangerously incompetent the world over.
Yeah. But
because it's a top-down thing that
yes,
will work.
But people have realised that. Even like, remember when the lockdowns happened in 2020? A lot of people, I mean, the joke, I finished Netflix, what do I do now? But a lot of people started going, well, hang on, I can grow my own food. And dare I say, in bunny ears, the awakening, people just realised, well, the government isn't my mother.
Yeah, and the first step is recognizing that, but that doesn't lead to the recognition that, you know, as much as you might hope for a new party or a new idea to come in and fix something, the system that has never actually worked in about 3,000 years. I would say the Constitution is it's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty close. And 3 months after it was signed, the evil, nefarious pricks came in and said, like, oh, let's add corruption to this. And a lot of people are even if it's subconscious, they're seeing corruption in leadership and the institutions. If you have too much heavy on a top-down system like that, then you break the feedback loops, and then you get everyone feeling like doesn't matter what ideas they have, they will never get through to the people who are actually in there to do the thing, or even through your representatives. That just doesn't happen. It's not even it's not even a side thought or a hope, because you just know how corrupt it is and how it's not going to work.
But also you can make a decision of I start believing myself and not believe in the system. That's a short way of saying it. So,
or if you are getting into the system as a politician, Yeah, an idea I heard was to go in there from the get-go and be someone future thinking and say all you're going to do is look for those laws that should not be there anymore. You're going to be someone who actually just tries and fights to take these laws away that don't make any sense in the modern society. The way we just build up these things and don't look at getting rid of the ones that don't make sense anymore.
You need people to challenge the corruption in the system. Now, on what will the system do to said people? Now, someone that is living his own life, mainly in front of coffee shops, trying to not beat up people because of his singing, is Harry, and we've been joined by Harry. Harry, how are you?
Good. I'm about a week away from exiting this unit I'm renting and moving into a caravan.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry, I just have to giggle because unit is an insult in Australia. So I know it's your house. I am right. Yeah. Look at this unit. It's like,
bloody loose unit.
But I mean, that was a manifested choice, wasn't it? To like, I'm going to move into a caravan and
becoming a nomad.
Yeah. Well, is the caravan stationary, or are you joining the Grey Nomads?
Yeah, I'm joining the Grey Nomads.
There's something beautiful in that.
Poetic. And for those who have no idea what we're talking about, Grey Nomads are a lot of retirees buy a caravan and just disappear out into the country, and they just travel around everywhere, and they've got their little homes on the back of their car.
Pretty. It's
an element of freedom.
It's alluring. It's very alluring.
Well, yeah, because I don't like. I'm in Dubbo. I'm bored now. Let's go to Broken Hill. All right, hitch up the trailer and let's go.
And also, I heard something recently that there is a whole network or a website that is dedicated to people traveling around the countries and grey nomads to take care of like cleanups on Airbnb and stuff like that too. That's a whole thing. I don't know what the site's called.
What is a caravan in the United States? Is it a trailer? Because an RV is a self-contained caravan. Caravan's like a room on a trailer that you hitch to the back of your car.
Yeah, RV trailer. Sure.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We call it caravan. It's the same thing, but same but different. Yes.
And at the end of the month, I've got a 3-month house sitting gig up in Queensland. So
just kind of roam up there.
Someone's either going to get a tan or drown. So.
Yeah, that sounds very nice. That sounds very nice. There's nothing better than traveling. There's no better educator.
Well, especially after the last 2 years of everyone stuck in their house. So like, what are you doing today? I may walk from the lounge room into the kitchen.
All I can say that's because I've been brought up that way, traveling in a caravan or from place to place, is that all it does is just make you more self-aware and more readily adaptable to the environment that you find yourself in. So you always think
you're self-sustainable, more self-sustainable.
It's like being ambidextrous.
Yeah, and so it's a great. Or as a percussionist, I am ambidextrous.
Well, and the interesting thing,
your paradiddles.
Yeah. Oh, hello. I know what that is, by the way. It's a drumming term. It's actually yeah. What I was going to say is Australia is the landmass is roughly the same as the continental United States, but the population of Los Angeles living here. And so when we go for a drive, we may not see anyone for a day and a half. And you see signs like, no fuel for another 300 kilometers. So you have to plan these things.
Or 2 or 3 hour trip's not really a big deal. But then you go over to the UK and you go, well, I want to go down here. And they go, that's 3 hours away.
As Steve Hughes points out, he has friends in Ireland. It's like, you're going to cross to the next town? No, it's too far. I can see it from here. As Mr. Hughes says, I've got mates who would mow Ireland in a weekend and just get like 24 cans of beer, and they'll mow everything. Compared to like if you drive for 18 hours, or say 10 hours in Europe, you can go through 6 countries. Here, you're still in Queensland.
Yeah, that's amazing. They're being able to skip to just such different cultures so quickly.
Well, it's just the way that obviously the British killed most of the natives here. Like if you actually look at the Aboriginal countries, there were 700 countries here in Australia, before the white man turned up. And
did you have your finger in the air then?
Yeah, I hurt my neck doing it too when I said white man. Oh, white man. Oh, did it again. But yeah, Europe in that respect is the countries are bigger. But like even in where I'm in Melbourne, I think you're probably in the same area, Harry. It's called the Kulin Nation, Kulin. But it was four tribes combined to make that nation.
Yeah, the Wurundjeri was one of them. Yep.
I'm terrible at Aboriginals' names, so I'm not even going to try. However, I live in a suburb called Nuttawading, which the British said killing fields, and the Aboriginals call it meeting place.
More personal killing fields. It was about a kick in the balls. Nuttawading.
Well, the Aboriginals have a different law system, basically, and so I'm sure a white man turned up and there was a meeting. Yeah, Aboriginals turned up at the meeting place and discussed things, and I'm sure someone got in trouble and so was stabbed in the thigh, and so the white version of it, it's the killing fields, and it's like, and the locals are like, nah, mate, just a meeting place like Canberra.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to actually going to Canberra on the way through.
What for?
I'm going to check out.
I've heard the strangest sentence. It tops the UN.
That was
I'm going to Canberra. Like, really? I'm looking forward to going to Canberra. You don't hear that often.
I didn't think anyone would ever say that ever. I need to put those words together.
No, Canberra's okay.
Well, I'm going to have suss out what all this noise is about that they're making, And the 10 embassy have been there for 50 years, wanting reconciliation, So
yeah,
find out what's going on there. But I've got a gig up in Queensland, so I'll be coming back there because I'm definitely interested because it's only us that can make the difference, eh?
Yeah.
If the Australian federal government has been ignoring the originals for 50 years, there still isn't a treaty between the colonists and the natives, and unfortunately, now some people may get upset. You were conquered. That's the next step is treaty and bring you back into the fold. But once was Aboriginal and always the Aboriginal land. No, you're conquered. I'm sorry to poo-poo the idea. I like the sentiment.
I like the sentiment of who really owns the land anyway.
Well, yeah. They're more caretakers, but it's basically in Australian society, the Aboriginals are basically the only group that's ostracized, which I find fascinating because they were here first. Like we bring in there's 200 countries and 400 million different languages and everyone join us. What about the Aboriginal? No, get out.
Yeah, but also not seemingly not interested in joining.
After two and a half centuries of being kicked in the nuts, you kind of can be slightly upset about it.
Or 2.5 million years of doing something else.
On the same thing though, if China decided to need more space and wanted to take over Australia, physically, not financially, and they're taking over physically slightly anyway. But you would experience the same thing as the Aboriginals did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have all their restaurants first, so yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off there, because we're coming up to the end, and I try and get the closing moments before the music kicks in. So thank you, Harry. Thank you, Cortek. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Raz, as well as thank you, Bruce MacDonald, for being here. Thank you, listeners. So final thoughts. And Brandon, you cannot mention that git that stole $300 from you. So Brandon, any passing thoughts?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Monty, for having me on. I miss you guys so much. It was great to hear you.
Oh, yeah, thanks for coming in. We played, which I don't do that often. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I appreciate you too. So we need to hug in the green room. So hands above the equator, of course. Let's be real.
Of course.
So yeah, we try and make it fun. That's the thing. So Raz, any passing thoughts for the dear listeners?
Take it easy, people. Just don't get into the news. Don't stress yourself. That's all. Take it easy. Relax.
Yeah. Enjoy your life.
To relax.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Well said. Cortek?
I've got one from Aristotle. No one would choose a friendless existence on condition of having all other things in the world.
All right, my head hurts.
So go say good day to your mates and stuff, and give them a pat on the back and have a beer and stuff.
Yeah, can you dumb that down for me? All right, thank you. Yeah. And Harry, I know you popped in for the closing overs. Thank you for being here. So good luck with your caravan. That you have a sense of freedom. Awesome. So any passing thoughts for the dear listener?
Yes. Peace, love, and harmony. Harmony is vibration. Vibration can be changed through nanotechnology and amplifying the rocks, the stones. That produces citadels of heaven, and we can restore the firmament. There you go. And you can check it out at harrythebusker.weebly.com on the Science and Religion page.
Oh, there you go. Anyone else want to share? Anyone else want to share their social media impact, or place to find them, or just people listen to this show? Don't worry about their social media.
Wafer Thin on YouTube.
Wafer Thin Entertainment. Get it right. If I paid you, I would have docked your pay.
Fair enough.
I can be found, obviously, on Revolution Radio at 2 a.m. Wednesdays on Studio A. This is Planet Collingwood. The archive goes up in video form, which is kind of weird because it's just a static photo on it. But on YouTube, Rumble, as well as Odyssey and BitChute. I also have the audio form up on Anchor FM, which is Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'm on Spotify. I'm almost Joe Rogan without the listeners or the money. So there you go. So if you enjoyed the last 2 hours, donate to the station. 100% listener supported. So thank you for all. And who wants to waffle for 60 seconds?
There you go. Pregnant pause.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, lull 15. Well, that was fun. I hope the listeners enjoyed that, because we're actually a distraction from the distractions. So
I think there's a lot of energy in the next 4 or 5 days. So get out there and use it and do the things that you've been putting off.
Yeah, be that all you can be, and I don't mean join the Marines. Oh, timing! Did you hear that? All right, let's go. I can do the radio voice really well, can't I? That was Planet Collingwood. We'll be back in 6 days and 22 hours. You all have fun. You're awesome. You are better than people say, the government tells you. So they're funny. Point and laugh, and you'll have a great time. We'll see you soon, everyone. Bye.